Welcome back. Today, we're jumping into a really profound vision that was given to the prophet Abraham. It's a revelation that, honestly, pulls back the curtain on existence itself, a look at what was happening before our world even began. So, let's start with a kind of a wild idea, one that's right at the heart of this whole vision. What if intelligence isn't just something for humans or animals? What if it's a fundamental property of the cosmos? It's something that's present in literally everything around us. Abraham was shown this incredible concept. The universe is just filled with intelligences. And we're not just talking about thoughts or ideas here. No, these are core entities, the actual essence of life and being. And the kicker? They've always existed. In fact, the revelation gives this idea a specific name, Glarmalum, which means eternal. And this is the point you really got to grasp. These intelligences weren't created. They just are. They are timeless, fundamental pieces of reality that have no beginning and no end. So, how far does this idea go? Well, this quote from Brigham Young makes it really clear this isn't just some poetic concept. He says that intelligence is literally in all matter. Think about that. It's in the rock, the sand, the air we breathe. This completely changes how you look at the physical world, doesn't it? And this has a pretty fascinating theological outcome. I mean, if all of creation has some degree of intelligence, it suddenly explains how the elements in Scripture can obey God's commands, right? The power to obey means you have to have the ability to hear and understand. So this vision, it's presenting a universe that isn't just a machine, it's responsive.
Okay, so where do we go from here? From this idea of eternal intelligences. The vision builds on it. It shows Abraham all these intelligences, now organized as spirits, all gathered together in a massive council before the world was even a thought. A huge meeting to decide the very future of humanity.
So in this giant assembly of spirits, God pointed out certain individuals he called the noble and great ones. These were the leaders, spirits who were essentially pre-selected for the crucial roles they were going to play once they got down to earth. And this is where it gets incredibly personal for Abraham. Right in the middle of this cosmic, mind-bending vision, God turns to him and says, "Abraham, you are one of them. You were chosen for your mission long before you were ever born." Can you even imagine hearing that? Learning your life's purpose was set in motion before time as we know it even began? So, what was this whole council about? Well, it was to lay out the Father's plan for everyone. It was a step-by-step process for progression. First up, they'd make an earth for all these spirits to live on. Then they would be tested to see if they would choose to be obedient. For those who passed that first test, their first estate, they'd get more added to them. And for those who passed the second test on earth, their second estate, they would have glory added on forever and ever. But not everyone was on board. The presentation of this plan didn't get a standing ovation from everybody. In fact, it sparked a huge conflict, a deep disagreement that would literally split the heavens in two. And that's a fair question, right? You've got a plan from God that offers growth, experience, and eternal glory. Why would anyone possibly object to that? Well, the whole disagreement boiled down to one single, absolutely crucial principle: free will. So two completely different proposals ended up on the table. On one side, you had the Father's plan, which was championed by Jehovah. It was all about upholding free agency, which meant it came with the risk of failure, but also the chance for real growth. On the other side was Lucifer's plan. He promised to eliminate all risk, to save every single person, but the price was their freedom to choose. And, maybe most importantly, Lucifer wanted all the glory for himself. And here it is, the core of Lucifer's sales pitch. I mean, on the surface, it sounds pretty good, right? Guaranteed salvation for everybody. But listen closely to the catch. Surely I will do it, and that final demand, give me thine honor. It was a plan built entirely on compulsion and ego. The result of this argument was, well, catastrophic. It led to what we call the war in heaven. And the final count? A full 1/3 of all the spirits chose Lucifer's plan of guaranteed safety over the Father's plan of free will. And for making that choice, they were cast out, losing their chance to ever have a mortal life. So you have to be asking, why was Abraham shown all of this? This whole epic history lesson, what was the point? It was all to get him ready for his mission on Earth. It armed him with a powerful and, frankly, unique understanding of God's entire plan. This vision gave Abraham some serious spiritual credentials. He now got the whole picture, the premortal life of spirits, the details of the plan of salvation, the real reasons behind the war in heaven. He even understood how God's time works differently from ours. He was basically equipped with the foundational truths of all existence. And his mission became crystal clear. He was called to go down into Egypt and to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ. This wasn't just about him moving house. It was a missionary assignment to teach the exact truths he had just been shown in this incredible vision. And that brings us to our last big thought, a really provocative question to leave you with. Here's Abraham teaching the plan of salvation and the need for a Messiah in one of the world's most ancient and powerful civilizations, thousands of years before Christ was even born. It just makes you wonder, doesn't it? What echoes of that original truth might have stuck around, shaping the incredibly complex religious beliefs of ancient Egypt for centuries to come?